What's going on, guys? It's Danny from Slow Restoration, and as promised, today's video involves these two commercial batteries right here. We have the commercial batteries, we have this key, we have some power steering fluid, a small toolbox, and a pair of pliers. We gotta take a little ride. Let's see what we're working on today. We're underway here, guys, and this is actually something I've been asked a lot about, and even here recently. Until now, I didn't have the title. Now I do have the title, so I feel a little more comfortable actually picking this thing up, and we'll do something with it. So now, well, we're almost there. Give me 2 seconds and we'll see what we're working on today. All right, we're pulling up here, and it is the Isuzu NPR that we did a video on actually probably close to a year ago now, but let's jump out and we'll check it out again. And here it is. I think this thing's a 2000. It's been sitting for quite a while. It's a NPR cab over. Does have the diesel motor, as you can see right there. Some of these did have the gas motor, and usually they had an LS, a 6-liter, or maybe even a 8.1. I'm not sure, but I know they definitely had 6 liters in them, but this one is a diesel. So let's go ahead and get this thing checked out. Like I said, it has been sitting for a little bit. We got a pair of batteries, as you saw. We'll get them put in because I know these batteries are dead. The last time we did put a fuel filter on, like I said, it's been sitting a little while since then, so we'll probably have to prime it up again. Let's go ahead and get the battery swapped over, and then we'll see what this thing will do. Well, first off, let's go ahead and actually flip the cab up, and we'll make sure everything is the way we left it before we get too carried away. So if I remember right, there's a safety here. Yeah, so the safety, this all needs a little oil, and then this lever moves after you move the safety. Ugh. Let me get this oil down, we'll get this flipped up. All right, so all this is working much easier now. So you pull that, you move this lever here, that unlatches it, and then another safety here, and then you just lift up on the cab. It does help to have two hands. There is a safety once you get it. It's not latching. There it goes. We'll push that down. There it goes. Now we're secure there. A couple guys did say if you open the doors up, it lifts much easier, and I'm sure it does, but it's really not bad to lift like this either. So let's give a quick once over on the motor, the engine rather, and make sure everything is the way we left it. We'll check the oil, pull the air filter, just make sure no animals create anything in there. I know it is low on power steering fluid. When I started up last time, it had a whine. We'll go over all that, and then we'll tackle the battery. All right, we checked our air filter. That looks good. We have our caps off for our power steering. We're going to go ahead and top it off. I don't see any leaking, but it is low, so I don't know if it's just low from use and sitting, or if it's going to spring a leak when we start it up, but we'll see. So we'll top this off. We'll check the engine oil. Antifreeze is good, and belts look all right. This motor was supposedly rebuilt along with the turbo, but again, it has been sitting for quite a while. All right, just check the engine oil. It looks fine too. I guess we should check the transmission fluid. Pop it out here. Everything's got safeties on it, and like it's kind of exposed to the elements. Let me get that in a second. So everything's got kind of double caps, like the power steering has a cap on top of the cap, keep rain and debris out. Same with the air filter housings over there. It's got a double cap. Yeah, it's kind of an oddball chassis, but it seems to be in decent shape. It has a, well, I mean, it's old. Definitely needs a good cleaning, but let's see how it runs. Let's go ahead and see if we can get these batteries swapped over. I did spray all that down, so put some wrenches on here and see how this goes. So far so good. Everything came off the terminal wise. Here is the negative side that connects to this battery. There's a jumper wire that also goes to the negative side, so this is a 12-volt system. I had a question about that before, but since it goes negative to negative, it is still 12 volt. It just has 2 batteries. So we'll pull this off and I'll record this, so if I forget how this went, I can go back and look, but it's pretty easy. Here's the positive side. There's a circuit breaker. That's probably actually for the power gate. Here's the positive side for the truck itself, and then of course the jumper wire. We'll pull that off. Now it looks like there's a 10mm bolt nut and a stud here. Try and get that off and pull these batteries out. That's coming off too. And what's actually interesting, so far all this has been standard. So this was a 7/16 and these were 9/16. So I would have thought these were metric, but not so far. All right, we got one battery out sitting over there now. You wouldn't think it would be so hard to get out of there, but it fits tight in here. And there's no handle on those batteries like this one. So, and there's not much room here. So these are heavy batteries. They're a pain in the butt to get out of there. You really need a small pry tool or something, or maybe 2 people would be a lot easier. It's not like one person can't manage that battery, but to pull them straight up out of there when it's tight in that housing is a little tricky. All right, new batteries in. Negative on this side, positive on that side. We'll hook everything back up and go ahead and put that hold down on there. Much easier. These batteries do have a handle, helps a lot, and of course putting them in is easier than taking them out. Batteries installed. That actually went way smoother. Nothing broke, everything came loose. We did have to work that bolt pretty good back and forth with spraying some penetrating fluid on, and again lifting those batteries out without a handle in the center like those. A little challenging, but we got it done. All right, so let's go ahead and drop the cab down and make sure we have power. Pull up on it, take our safety, and let this nice and slowly down. All right, back up inside here. There are 4 ways. Yes, we do have power. All right, so next step is we're going to go ahead and prime the fuel system a little bit, just because it's been sitting so long. We're just going to make sure we have fuel up here before we even try. All right, let's turn the key on, see what we have. Glow plugs are on, they're off. Let's give it a shot. Uh-oh, that's not good. All right, so the solenoid was a little sticky. We jiggled this key back and forth a little bit, and now it is, wow, fired right up. It's crazy. Smoking or making any weird noises. Actually sounds really good. Jump inside the cab here, and we do have a brake light and a brake booster. Brake booster just went off. That went off. All right, so so now we're starting to get power steering. We're probably gonna have to top that power steering off again. The low light just came back on. Sounds good though. It's crazy how quick that fired up. All right, we're gonna run around it here real quick, just make sure there aren't any leaks, anything not doing anything it shouldn't be. Nice and dry underneath. Sounds fine under here, or out here rather. Then we'll check our power steering fluid is now here. Probably easier just put the cab back up, and we can keep an eye on everything, get a good look at the motor. Let's go ahead and do that. I did forget to showed this last time before too, but it does have the safety pin you can put in here to keep the cap from coming down on your head. So we have that installed. Again, everything's dry, nothing's leaking. Fuel filter's nice and dry. That was the issue we had last time. That all looks good. Like I said, the motor sounds really good. I think we can actually rev it up right here. Nope. That's the fuel cutoff. Maybe this is, here's throttle here. Motor sounds really good. Pop that power steering cap back off. There's the first cap. There's the second cap. And yes, it is low again. So we'll go ahead and top that off again. Alright, we let it run here for a little bit. Start warming up. Again, everything's dry. Everything's performing so far the way it should. We're still not sure why that power steering fluid is low. We run around to the other side here. It appears the power steering pump runs off of the crank. I believe that's the pump right back there on the bell housing. Everything seems to lead back there, and I don't see a pump on the drive system, so we're topped off now again. Let's drop the cab back down and see if we have steering now. I know a lot of guys were saying they thought it was the kingpin froze up, and that might still be, but they do look like they've had some grease put in. Alright, we still have a brake light on, but we do have power steering now. Still making a little bit of noise, but I'm sure it needs bled out. And I'm guessing probably the brake system works off the power steering also. Don't know that 100%, but I'm guessing it's a hydro boost setup of some sort. We'll pump the brakes here a few times. It does have a pedal. Brake booster light comes on. We let it sit for a little bit. Is that, yep, that goes off. So there might be an issue there. Comes on, we let it sit, goes off. I noticed there is some vacuum lines that don't look the best under there. They're dry rotted, so we'll have to address some of that. See if this thing moves. Pull on the brake, drop in gear. Oh, goes into reverse, nice. Goes into drive, nice. Alright, I'm not going to move it very much because we have stuff around it we need to clean up before we move it, but it's running. No tack. It's pretty simple in here. Not a lot of controls or anything. I like it. Alright, so an important thing, let's see if it shuts off. It does shut off. And equally important, fires back up. All the warning lights go right off except for that brake light, so we'll investigate that for sure. Maybe once we move this thing a few feet, maybe that'll help that. Might be an ABS light or something like that. We'll see. Alright, so we did get a leak here. You can see under the truck there, and if you look down, it's dripping off the fan blades. You follow it all the way up, and I know what that's from. I checked the antifreeze, and when I pulled the cap off, I saw the washer, the seal under the cap was pretty dry rotted, and I think it ripped a little bit as I moved it. As I wiggle the cap back and forth, you can see it. So not a big deal. We'll put another cap on it. Other than that, it looks dry. Yeah, I think it's time to take it for a little test spin.